Is it to be AI or not to be AI? Are we doing the same thing for our optical practices? What is technology going to do to your practice, and how is it going to make you stand out compared to everyone else? So,
hi there, my name is Abbas and I run the Optical Mentor Program. Now, the whole point of this podcast is to help you grow your businesses to be as successful as they can be, just as I've done with my practice in central London. How are we going to do this? I'm going to be giving you hints, tips, sales processes, systems and processes that you can implement to make your lives easier, for your shops to work smart, not hard, and grow your businesses to be as successful as they can be. So please share with other owners or other business owners that you feel could benefit from this, and let's grow together.
Shakespeare once said, is it to be or not to be? That is the question. And the optical mentor now says, is it to be AI or not to be AI? That is an even more in question. Now, why do I bring up technology? So if you look around us in the world today, technology is flying. Most people, if you ask them, they've got a laptop, they've got an iPad, they've got an iPhone, they've got some form of technology when it comes to communicating. When it comes to doing something specific, sometimes they'll have some form of technology which takes them from A to B, like an electric car or anything else. So you can see that people are starting to move in that direction. Now, my question to you is that are we doing the same thing for our optical practices? And it's important for us as optical owners to really get behind technology. So there's a couple of things that we need to bear in mind. Now, fortunately for me, as in our workplace, we've got half of us who are over the age of 40, and unfortunately I fall in that sector, and we have half of them who are under the age of 40. As in, actually, just to give you an idea of numbers, 3 of them are underneath the age of 25. Now, what's the beauty of that? Obviously, the younger they are, the more they are entwined with technology. So when it comes to things such as social media and all that sort of general stuff which helps to sort of promote the actual business itself, they are much better entwined with it, and therefore, they're able to sort of help us out and say, okay, look, we should do this, we should do that, this is how you post it, this is how you do that. So that's the benefit of youth. But more importantly, what is technology going to do to your practice, and how is it going to make you stand out compared to everyone else? So there's a couple of factors really that it's going to help you. So number one is that you don't want to be left behind with the crowd. So if you stay paper records and if you're sort of doing the traditional conventional methods and sometimes in the testing room and stuff like that, and then I'm not saying that you shouldn't, I'm just saying these are just options available to you. If you stick to conventional methods, when that person who's coming into your practice, if for example they were distracted and go to another practice where, as I said, they're using technology, they're going to be like, these lot are like so far behind, why are they not moving with the times? As in, they need to sort of be pressing and they need to be doing new ways of working. So it's something for you to bear in mind, where you need to think to yourself, okay, I'm going to use technology and I'm going to use different ways of moving the practice forward. Now, what it's going to do is it's going to make the practice look more modern. And everyone wants modern things. So if you look at people, when we were younger, all of us had a Nokia phone and we're like, wow, we're so cool. Oh, let's play snakes. Nowadays, nobody has a Nokia phone. And what that's showing is that everybody wants to move with the times. Everyone wants the best technology. How many people have an iPhone 1? No, none of us. Most of us have the latest iPhone. And why? Because they say to us, oh, the camera's been upgraded and it's got this many pixels and that many pixels and blah, 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 blah. Who cares? But at the end of the day, people do care. Yeah, you're right. Because they said that's why they're going for the best technology. So the same thing comes to our practices. If we're not using technology, or if we're not trying to utilize technology in our practices, what's going to happen is people are not going to think that we are modern. And the perception of the practice is, oh, they're old school. They're old people. As in, look at those people. Now, we're not old. 40 is not old. 50 is not old. Even 60 nowadays is not old. So however old you are as a practice owner, you need to remember that it's never too late to utilize these sort of things. But people from the outside, and the perception that they have is that, oh, they haven't moved with the times. We need to find somewhere where it's with the times. So again, that's one of the reasons why, for example, you should be doing it. Number 3, it differentiates you from everyone else. Now, the other day I was walking past Vision Express, which is, one of the closest opticians to us, and they were starting to use an iPad. What they were doing is that they were practicing on each other with regards to how to take images, I'm assuming for measurement reasons. Now, it's very important that we stick alongside them, but how can we differentiate from them? By having different dispensing tools, different gadgets that you can use, so on and so forth. Now, we have, for example, the Zeiss machine as well as the Essilor machine. When it comes to dispensing tools, we have an OCT obviously downstairs, we have a topographer, but we have a phoropter. But what I'm trying to imply too is the more technology that you have in there, the more it's going to differentiate you from the high street optician down the road, the more it's going to differentiate you from that old school independent opticians that you have that's been there for 50 years. Whether you've been there for 50 years, for 100 years, you know what, it doesn't matter, because you have the perception that you have all of the latest equipment. So people even just think, wow, you know what, this practice is constantly improving, getting better. For all we know, it could be a completely fresh practice. Number 4, what it does is it just helps people to get excited. Everybody likes something new. One of our dispensing machines, it talks to the customer. Now, what I'm trying to say about that is that I'm getting excited about it. Just imagine how the customer feels. They're sitting there, all of a sudden it starts talking and they're like, whoa, what was that? What's it doing? And it allows us to dispense higher sort of varifocal quality or varifocal lenses, because we're saying that it takes into account your head movement, etc. But this is what I'm trying to say to you, is in the more technology that you have in practice, the easier it comes to doing other processes in a shop, like selling. It makes the process a lot smoother, it makes it more easier to understand, and sometimes it actually makes it quicker. So you're not only getting people excited, you're not only differentiating yourself, but you're also speeding up your processes. Now, other elements that you can use is, for example, ChatGPT. Now, what does ChatGPT do? ChatGPT allows you to sort of ask it questions, and it allows you to give you feedback back. So let's say, for example, somebody came in with a problem. You could ask them within reason, you could ask ChatGPT, what do you think? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you should go with what it says, but it's starting up a conversation and it's giving you something to think about. Same thing when it comes to recall letters. Same thing when it comes to referral letters. You can easily say, hey, hi, ChatGPT. What do you think I should do with regard to this referral letter? What I want to do is I want to write a referral letter to Moorfields. And in this letter, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write, dear doctor, this patient has been suffering from blah, 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 blah. How can you formulate into a good referral letter? And it's going to speed it up for you. So this is what I'm trying to say to yourselves, is in you have to use technology as much as you can, because in certain elements, it's going to make things smoother and you don't want to get left behind like everyone else. Now, let me give you a couple of examples before I finish with regards to where you can do it. I've mentioned it briefly along the way, but these are just 5 ways that you can implement. So number 1, in your systems and processes with regards to admin, use ChatGPT. Utilize it. If you're writing a blog, use ChatGPT, tweak it up into your words and you can post it. And again, it's just some way of, extra marketing for the practice. As I mentioned, referral letters, reminder letters, those sort of things is really going to help you generally with regards to just putting it out there, speed up the process. And all you have to do again is just annotate and put things in. You can even ask ChatGPT, give me some marketing ideas, for example, for somebody who's 40 years old, who's having problems with driving, what can I do? And it will give you bing, 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 bing. And then it allows you to identify, okay, actually I want to use that. Why not? So there's so many things that you can do to utilize things. What can you do in the testing room? In the testing room, for example, you've got your OCT, you've got your phoropters, you've got little things like this, and what they're doing is they're just helping to speed up the process. You don't have to use them. I'm not saying that it's essential for you to use them, but it helps in the process. Visual fields machines, people get excited. OCT machines, it's a great tool. If anything, I think that is probably the best piece of technology over the last 10 years when it comes to looking at the health of the eyes, because it just makes things so much better and so much more accurate with regards to checking things up. Number 3, dispensing tools. So we've got loads of dispensing instrumentation, and even one of them even now creates an avatar where you can superimpose frames that you don't have in a shop onto the avatar when they're wearing it, as in the practice, and it shows it up on a computer screen. How amazing is that? It's allowing you to dispense a product without the frame being there, and sometimes even when the patient is not being there, and that's how accurate it is. And that's what that Zeiss machine does. And just imagine if you're a customer and you're looking at it and you're thinking, wow, these people are really with it. Yeah. When I was in Dubai recently, I was looking at a piece of glazing equipment, And as I said, some of the stuff is absolutely amazing. It literally does it produces 24, or I can't remember what the number was, but 24 pairs of lenses within like an hour, and actually produces it. I'm not talking about cutting, but I'm talking about producing. So this is what I mean, is in the different elements in different environments of the shop, where, for example, you can use technology to enhance things and make things better. The final way is by window displays and how AI can be integrated within window displays. Now, I had somebody come into the shop yesterday, and we were having a little discussion with regards to what potentially he has in the pipeline. And one of the things he was mentioning was that he had an AI system which you could implement within the window, which changes the actual imagery that you're seeing on a regular basis, but it wasn't like a normal TV screen. So we've all seen TV screens in the windows and stuff like that, but this was a slightly different idea that he had, which had investors behind him. So let's see what comes about to the market. But I know that they used to do that to shop signs, where, for example, they go constantly rotating it, so on and so forth. So in essence, this just shows that technology has got so much opportunity. There's so many different elements that you can use within your stores to try and get the best out of it. I'm not saying that you should be using every single form of technology. I'm not saying that you should go deep into AI at this current moment in time, but you need to be aware of what's out there, what the potentials are of using them. You know, I went into Apple shop earlier today and I saw the new Apple headsets. Amazing, amazing. How can we help those individuals? By the inserts. Exactly, and this is what's happening. If you don't know what's out there, you're going to fall behind. People are not going to want to come to you, and they're going to go to your neighbor because they know more. So make sure you read up, make sure you try and implement as much as you can. And what it will do is it will help you grow and become even better.
Hope you enjoyed the content, and more importantly, hopefully there's one or two tips in there which you think, yeah, you know what, I can implement that in my practice to help me grow my business to be as successful as it can be. So please please share with your fellow professionals. And if you want to know more about how the Optical Mentor can help you grow your business, please link in the bio, and we'll be happy to reach out and have a conversation to see where we can grow together.